Hey friends, welcome to Her Home and Harvest. My name's Alana if we haven't met before. Today we're going to take a May garden tour through my backyard garden, and I will be putting little clips of what I did a few days ago because I actually recorded all of this a few days ago, but it was so windy you couldn't really hear anything I was saying. So let's just get started. All right, let's start right here with this oregano. I don't know if I've ever actually showed you guys this before, but this oregano I've had growing for I'm honestly not sure. At least 2 years now. I think this is its third year in this pot, and it does good. I don't eat it too much. It's not like the typical oregano that you get fresh at the store. It's a different variety. So I think this is Greek oregano. These are the cucumbers, which while they're not looking super exciting, we did harvest 2 cucumbers off of this a couple days ago, which I'll put footage of. That was part of the first video that I filmed, and there is one cucumber right here that got pollinated. This will hopefully become another cucumber. And then this little guy, no cucumbers yet, at least none that I see. I'm not sure. That one in the end looks a little bit bigger than the rest, so it might have gotten pollinated. I can't honestly tell. And then you guys check it out. It's a baby pineapple. I'm so excited. If you guys have watched my videos before, you know that I've been worried that this thing wasn't going to produce any fruit. This is its third year in the ground, and it has never done anything. And today, it has a baby pineapple. I'm really hoping that this little guy makes it all the way till I can get to eat it. From there, we have our first Roma tomato, which has got a lot of flowers on it, but no fruit yet, which is pretty typical for Romas. This little watermelon is really struggling. It's growing. You can see there's new leaves in there, but it's just not doing as well as I would hope. I've never grown watermelon before, so I don't know if that's typical, but that's what it's at. Here is the sweet potatoes that I got slips from potatoes from the store. 2 different varieties of sweet potato. I've never seen sweet potato plants look like that, but I guarantee you it was a sweet potato, or at least it said it was from the store, and it tastes like sweet potato. Up here in this planter we have a whole load of basil, and then a couple of cucumber plants that aren't growing as well as I would hope either. They are growing though. Oh, I didn't even notice there's 2 here. I probably should pull one of these back. But you know, they're just growing really slow. And then this is bok choy, which is being really enjoyed by something in my garden. And then check it out, my first marigold is almost ready to come out. Very excited about that. And there's some more marigolds on this side. And below this planter we have, this is another Roma tomato. Again, it's got flowers but no fruit. And then this is an eggplant. I've never grown eggplant before, but this thing is just taken off. I don't even know if you're supposed to grow these in tomato cages, but they say they grow very similar to tomatoes, so I'm just figured I'd go with that. This is also a watermelon, same as the other one, except look, something ate all of its little leaves. The true leaves got eaten, so I'm not 100% convinced this is going to give me anything. Here's another Roma. Again, lots of flowers, no fruit. Here is the scallop squash, or the patty pan squash, depending on what you like to call it. And there is one in here that will be ready probably in a couple of days. I like to wait until they get a little more white. This one's very green. And oh, look, here's a male flower and a female flower, and we are going to pollinate that right now by hand. Ignore the awful looking leaves. You can just come in and cut these off. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this flower off. This is a male flower. There's a long stem, and the flower comes off the top, and there's just one little piece in there. And then the female flower has a little fruit on the bottom like this. And then inside the flower, it's got a few little pieces. So you could either take a Q-tip or a paintbrush, but in this case, there's only one female flower. I already hand pollinated this one, so I'm really hoping that that one will grow. but there's only one male flower and there's only one female flower that's anywhere close to being ready. So I'm actually just going to pop this off right at the bottom of the flower. So what I'm going to do is actually peel back the leaves, the petals of this flower, and just so that the stem in the middle is coming out. So this is what it looks like. I've peeled all the petals back, and now it's just the inside of the flower exposed right there. And then you just take that over to your female flower, and you are just going to go in there and kind of dab all that pollen around. So there you go. That is how you hand pollinate a squash. Up from the squash plant, we have, I think this is Italian oregano. I'm honestly not sure. This oregano I grew from seed. The packet literally just said oregano, and it clearly looks different than that other one that's fuzzy over there. Here is the jalapeno that's been here for 3 years, and no flowers just yet, but it has clearly come back to life. From there, we have the Thai peppers, which again, I think I've shown you guys before. I've been lazy about coming out here and picking them off. I don't actually eat spicy peppers. My husband does. And we've been kind of lazy about this lately. But as you can see, there's new flowers on it. So we're gonna get some fresh food soon. More basil. This is a lime, and it doesn't have anything on it right now. The last heavy wind that we got knocked off all the limes. This is a mandarin. We've never gotten anything out of this. Planted it back in 2020 with everything else, all the rest of our trees. But it's got a bunch of little baby fruits all over it. So I'm hoping we'll get some little mandarins this year. We're going to find out. From there, come over to the garden at the bottom of my hill. We have a milkweed that my mom gave me. Those are all sunflowers right there that we started from seed together. And they're doing great. These are California wildflowers. I'm not sure what's going to come out of those. I've never grown flowers before, so this is all my flowers. These 3 are zinnias. I'm hoping we'll get some flowers soon off of these. I'm not sure what to expect. Here is a Thai pepper, because I need more spicy peppers that I can't eat. This is cayenne and cayenne again with little flowers on it already. And then we've got jalapenos here, which I will eat. They're not too spicy for me. This is a poblano, and these are California Wonder bell peppers, and there's another one here and another one right there. So behind all of the peppers are the tomatoes and tomatillos. This is a cherry tomato, and if you come in close, you can see lots of fruit. And check out this, how much more fruit is going to show up on this. Look at all those flowers. Pretty excited. I came in here the other day and I cut off most of the suckers that I could find. They grow so quickly. There's another one right there. I don't pull all of the suckers off. I do want to get a lot of fruit off this, but these cherry tomatoes will just go crazy, so I want to make sure to prune them off. And then I'm also trying to train them to grow up this cattle panel. This is another cherry tomato. Again, you can see this is a sucker that I let grow, and I'm going to let it grow. That's not a problem, but I just want to make sure that I don't let too many of those. And this one, you can see back there, also has, it's hard to get a good angle of it, but it's got a lot of fruit as well. Next to that is the tomatillos. I'm doing an experiment with pruning these. I'm going to try to prune this one heavily because it's growing very vigorously. I'm going to try not to prune that one at all, and then I'm going to lightly prune that one, and we're just going to see the differences, the effects of that. So this one's going wild, and this one just has so many. Look at all that fruit. If they all grow, that's just is so much. I'm really excited for the possibility of making green salsa, and same with this one here. And next to those we have the beefsteak tomatoes here and here as well. And if you look, they got little fruits. We've got a couple bigger fruits in here growing, and we've got another big one right here growing, even on this little tiny plant. I probably should have picked that off when it first came on, because this plant is kind of stunted, but I'm gonna let it go and experiment, see how it goes. So we're back to the end of the California Wonders, which you can see they're starting to flower. That's the first flower right there. Each of them has a flower in the center, and this one does too. And then these two are just, again, a California wildflower blend. And then we've got the rose bush, which is dangerous to try to grow anything behind. Behind the rose bushes, we have, this is a zucchini plant here, and it is doing really well. I'm going to try to train them to go up these stakes. I've done it in the past, so we're going to see how that goes. I'm more concerned with how to do that right behind a thorny rose bush. This is a zucchini here as well, and then these two are also zucchinis. These two are zucchinis that we started from seed, and these two I bought as starts from the store. And the ones from the store are just starting to flower. Male flowers are coming out. It's common for the male flowers to come out first, and then same here, just male flowers. You can see just the one piece inside the flower, and if you look over to the side, it's just one long stem. It's male flower. And here we are again, lots of male flowers and no female flowers yet, so we'll keep an eye out for those female flowers. All right, right here we have our patch of potatoes. These are all grown from potatoes that went bad in my cabinet, or didn't go bad, but they started to sprout in my cabinet, so I planted them. We're gonna see how that goes this year. Again, behind a rose bush. I was working in the potatoes the other day and I almost fell into this rose bush, so I'm really anxious about growing behind these, especially when they're growing this fast. But you know, you don't do much with potatoes, so I'm hoping that'll be not a problem. And then here are my onions. But you guys, if you can see, something's eating them. So there were 16 onions here, little baby onions I planted out. And now there's only 6. So we're gonna see how that goes. And then here we have, these are all onions we started from sets, and they're doing good. And then this is the green onion patch that I let some green onions go to seed when I was pregnant with my daughter and couldn't get out here as much, and it just grew a bunch of green onions. So I actually pulled out this whole section right here was green onions. Not yesterday, but the last day we came out together, and I'll try to put some footage of that. I ripped all of this out, and then I put up this very temporary trellis here. The idea is to eventually get it up with the cattle panel, but I just needed something simple for right now. And why I did that was at the bottom, I did not label anything, so I'm hoping these videos will help me remember. I planted butternut squash here, a baby butternut, another baby butternut right here, and then over here I planted a Jilby little pumpkin. They're the little tiny pumpkins, so they should trellis just fine. And the same with the butternut squash. It's actually the small butternut squash, so it should trellis just fine as well. And then right here we have a row of turnips and another row of turnips, and these guys are doing good. If you can see down there, got a little turnip growing, so hopefully maybe a week or so I'll be able to get my first turnip out of here. The kale is continuing to grow strong, and then these are the potatoes that I grew. Some of these are from my home potatoes, and some of these are actually seed potatoes that I bought. I bought one packet of seed potatoes, so we'll see how that goes. I will say, however, something is going on in here. This one started to die back, and I don't know what the problem is. It doesn't seem to have affected the rest of the plant yet. Fingers crossed. They will do this when they're ready to be harvested, but that's usually well after they flowered, and this has not flowered yet. I just want to show you guys this. The shade you're seeing right now, it's from the one cloud in the sky. This is what the rest of the sky looks like. All right, so here's the gem avocado, and there's little baby fruits on this, but I don't have much hope that they're gonna stay on. Here they are. There were a couple about the size of my thumb, but they've all fallen off, so we get some pretty heavy winds here, and not everything makes it. My fingers are crossed that they stay on this year. I know I told you guys that leaves fell off of this plant or started to fall off this tree. But if you look at this, it's got so much beautiful new growth. So I'm not worried about it anymore. And then up the hill from the gem avocado is the holiday avocado, which really struggled. I had to actually come in here and lop this off. It was much taller, but the top of it died back. It wasn't very healthy when I first put it in the ground, and I probably shouldn't have invested in it, but if you can see, it's doing a lot better now. And here are the pluots. And if you look, I actually have 2 trees planted in the same hole. I've explained that a few different videos, but it's a way of getting 2 varieties in the space of 1 tree, and it's been working well for me. If you can see, these trees are loaded with fruits. This is the Flavor Grenade pluot, and then the tree on the other side is the Dapple Dandy pluot, and there's some good fruits on there too. Oh, look at the size of that one. Up the hill from my pluots are my apple trees. Again, a 2-in-1 planting. The one on the right here is an Anna apple, and the one on the left is a Golden Dorset. And you can see they both have beautiful fruits on them. Pretty excited for my apples this year. I love apples. I would plant a whole orchard of apples if they grew better here. I mean, obviously they grow fine, but my favorite apples are Liberty apples, and they will not grow in this area. From the apples down, we've got the peach trees. These are going wild. And again, it is a 2-in-1 planting, if you can see that down there. And we've got plenty of fruit. This is an Eva's Pride. No, sorry. This is an August Pride peach on this side of the 2-in-1 planting. And on the other side is an Eva's Pride. You can see the Eva's Pride peaches are coming to size, and they're almost ready. They're pretty hard still, so I'm going to give them a couple more weeks. Every week I'll just come out here and test them, but you can see this tree is just loaded with fruit. If you could see that. So much and almost ready. I'm pretty excited. All right, right here we have the Caracara orange, which has been, again, another one struggling since I put it in the ground. But if you can see, there's a potential orange right there. Pretty excited about that. And then we come down and we have the Eureka lemon, which always looks like this, like it's struggling. But it has been able to give me fruit. There's a lemon here and a couple right there and a couple here. So I'll get a few lemons from this tree this year. All right, you guys, there you have it. That was our May garden tour. Thank you so much for joining. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And if you would like to subscribe and see more videos of my garden tours, and then I'm gonna also be taking harvest tours where I go through and harvest things, and then we're gonna use things inside as well. So click the subscribe button if that's something that you're interested in, and leave a comment down below if you have anything like tips or tricks that you'd like to give me. I'm always learning. I do know some things, but I am definitely still learning. So I love to hear from you guys and what suggestions you might have for me. And I really appreciate, again, you guys spending some time in the garden with me. I love having people with me that enjoy this as much as I do. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, bye.